We really don't know the complete biological diversity of the sea. There are creatures out there still that inhabit the darkest, deepest parts of the ocean. And every once in a while, one will show up and it just freaks people out.
Every fisherman would have had a different take on what this thing could be. Some might say it was like a crab with claws, some might say more like an octopus. Its form kept changing depending on who you asked.
This mythical sea monster struck fear into the hearts of sailors for centuries. The giant squid is no longer the prime suspect. So what inspired these tales? To find out, Charles tracks the myth back to its ancient roots in Scandinavia.
It's in these waters the legend became famous. And I want to explore the origins and truth behind the myth.
What was so special about these seas that they were considered the Kraken's lair? Charles believes the first description of the beast comes from the ancient people who made this area their home, the Norse.
This is the RvarOddr Saga, a Norse tale of revenge from the 13th century, and it contains our earliest Scandinavian reference to the monster that will become the Kraken.
The story tells how a Viking hero called RvarOddr has magical arrows that make him invincible. He sails the northern seas looking for glory. One day, he passes between two rocky islands. Suddenly, he hears a deep rumbling roar. These are no ordinary islands. They're the jaws of the Kraken. An ancient sorcerer has sent the biggest beast of the sea to kill him. And even his magical arrows are powerless against it. But Odd narrowly escapes. This account suggests the Kraken is not a giant squid, but a very different phenomenon. So what could really be lurking underneath the water to explain such a tale? Marine archaeologist Professor Örvar-Oddr is going to use a small hull-mounted sonar system to find out.
Seabed is usually inaccessible for us humans. So as a result, 99% of the seabed is still unexplored. We know less about it than, for instance, Mars or the Moon. We need to scan the seabed using advanced technology.
The sonar system will show a depth map of the Kraken's lair and could finally provide some answers.
The saga said these waters were dangerous. I want to find out what those dangers actually were.
The sonar system sends a sonic pulse into the depths that bounces back. This is then read by the scanner. While they wait for results, Charles finds specific reports of the Kraken.
Two kind of local accounts of the Kraken. One, we've got a young and foolish Kraken stranded in the parish of, forgive my pronunciation, Alsterhaug in Nordland. So how far away is that?
4 or 5 hours. It's on the outer coastline, so it's an island. So it's not like in the fjord here. It's quite different.
But it's the second Kraken encounter that's the most terrifying.
Two fishermen of Fredrikstad, Uggerhaus, they encountered a classic Kraken that the sea turned to slime and mud, and the horns of the Kraken nearly crushed part of their boat.
Right.
So where's Fredrikstad?
That's the southern part of Norway. It's in the Oslo fjord.
And then we've got a transient island that's off the coast of Sweden.
Transient island, what's
so
that?
That's an island which appears and disappears. And so the question is, what caused this
right,
observed phenomena?
The scanner begins to receive revealing information.
Thank you. What we can see here is the soundings. It's a live view. As you can see, it changes as the boat moves. So you can see the depths are in the deeper areas, about 100 meters, and goes all the way up to 8 meters in the same scan.
Wow.
The scan data reveals that there are dangerous shallows here. The seabed dramatically changes depth over a very short distance. The extreme soaring Norwegian peaks and troughs above the waterline continue far down into the waters, making them a death trap. Could this be behind the Kraken myth?
So a little fishing vessel with a sail could very rapidly move between deep water and shallow water.
Yeah, absolutely. At low tide and at the bottom of a wave, you could probably hit the seabed if you were exactly where we are now. So it could be potentially fatal.
So it's very calm right now.
Yeah.
I presume off the coast of Norway, it's not always this calm.
It's not always like this, no. It can be pretty rough when the weather sets in, yeah.
And dangerous?
Absolutely, very dangerous.
But crossing these waters is made an even more perilous journey because of the hidden dangers lurking on the undulating seabed.
With a bottom that goes up and down with submerged rocks. And...
It's very uneven, and so it's not a pleasant place to be in a boat if it really blows up into a storm.
This dangerous marine landscape was created during the Ice Age. 1 million years ago, a vast ice sheet covered Norway. Huge glaciers bulldozed through the landscape, pushing gigantic piles of rocks towards the coast and dropping them into the ocean. When the glaciers retreated, they left behind an unpredictable and dangerous seabed all along the coast.
Around 50% of all wooden ships ever built ended up as shipwrecks.
Wow, that's an
Yeah.
incredibly high figure. I've seen this coastline can be a dangerous place, a place of shifting depths and of jagged rocks. Seafarers had a reason to be scared of these waters.
Without modern technology, the Norse couldn't see the submerged rocks that were sinking their ships. So fear of an island-shaped kraken took hold. Some believe an ancient text published around 1250 could be interpreted as a warning about the deadly kraken. Written by a member of the king's court, the King's Mirror is a handbook for the rulers of Norway. It covers politics and statesmanship, but also the dangers of the northern seas. The most fearsome peril is the Kraken, a beast the size of an island. It claims only 2 exist in the world because the seas don't hold enough fish to feed anymore. When the Kraken is hungry, it opens its gigantic mouth, trapping vast shoals of fish inside. And when the monster has had its fill, it disappears into the depths. But the King's Mirror only makes the Kraken mystery deepen, because this description is nothing like the beast that pulled down the Danish ship. Why are accounts so varied? The mystery of what really inspired the legend remains unsolved.
Does it mean that people are seeing different things? Or are they seeing the same things and they're just describing it in different ways, perhaps influenced by their prior beliefs?
Muddying the waters yet further, Charles uncovers another account that introduces a bizarre new Kraken characteristic. One that is even more difficult to explain.